notification to the rescue team to tell them to give them the exact location and so that the team can reach there and basically save them. With increasing floods, I think this is an amazing technology, and if not just in Kerala, but if this can be replicated across India and even across the world, this will be definitely very helpful in saving a lot more lives than we are able to currently because of these floods. Because floods, again, like are natural disasters, and it's not really in our control, right? So yes, hopefully this technology can be replicated to be used on a larger scale. Second news for you. So a lady by the name of Sumitra Gagri, okay, she is a mental health professional and she's been working in that field for 12 years. So she has this NGO called Ekjut, and what they do is that basically they help they do mental health programs in rural areas to educate people, especially women, about mental health issues. So through her initiative over the last 12 years, she's been able to help 36,000 tribal women by in dealing with their mental issues. And this is mostly around the area of there's a lot of maternal deaths that happen, right? And that is again due to the mental stress that they go through. And this is something that they are consistently working towards. Her and her team are consistently working towards. And she's emerged as a revolutionary. So she is based out of Jharkhand, and this has been a revolutionary thing for her and the community that she's been able to help. And not just in terms of the mental health aspect of it, she's also been able to help in reducing malnourishment amongst children in these tribal and rural areas. I had spoken about something similar, I think last week or last week as well, where another NGO is basically working towards making sure that the malnourishment amongst children in tribal and rural areas are reducing. So there are various NGOs that are doing this sort of a thing, and we really need these sort of NGOs. So if you can support them in any way, whether it's financially, whether it's by volunteering, please make sure you do. If you come across any of those, do share it with us as well. We would also love to, promote these kind of NGOs. Third article for you. So, a social worker by the name of Dr. G. Rambabu. Alright, he has a slogan which goes by, "We can do so little alone, but can achieve a lot collectively." Which is so true. Like we saw this during the second wave itself, where all of us basically came together to help each other out when the system itself was getting crowded, right? So this man, Dr. G. Rambabu, has basically dedicated his life to uplift the lives of senior citizens, the poor and women, basically, in Andhra Pradesh. So he was working as an LIC clerk, but then he realized that wasn't what he actually wanted to do, right? And he decided to switch over from there and started this thing called Swarnandra Seva Samastha. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. So this was started back in 1998, which is basically sort of like an old age home. Alright. And this old age home has been able to shelter around 300 people in this old age home since 1998. Through this, he is also during the COVID wave, he was also able to help in providing food and shelter to migrant workers and even the poor for about 300 days consistently. Again, this is just one of the stories that I'm sharing, but there are so many more people and so many more NGOs that have been able to do this, and it's just commendable to see such good work coming out of it. But because it's not like they are really gaining anything out of it, right? Most people chase money or like fame, but like this is not really getting them anything. This is just out of the goodwill and out of the goodness of their hearts that they are doing this, which is just so nice and warming to hear. Fourth news for you. So Yashwant, he's a second year engineering student from Guti. Okay, so Guti is a place, I'm not sure where exactly it is. So basically, during the second wave, we saw how we had such less ambulances and our resources were basically reducing, um, and there was one situation wherein he saw basically a man carrying his mother to the hospital during the pandemic. So the man was basically carrying the mother by himself in his arms and taking her to the hospital. And that is when he realized that there needs to be some solution to this, right? How can there be no ambulances at all? There needs to be some sort of alternative. That is when he decided to make something called a two-wheeler ambulance. All right. So basically, this is a cost effective. He made this cost effective means wherein a two-wheeler can basically be converted into an ambulance to carry patients in emergency situations, because it's much easier to move around in a two-wheeler, right? So this is something that is really going to revolution. If this comes into effect on a larger scale, this could really impact the country in a good way. So the college loved his idea so much that they contacted this France-based company called Dassault, right? And even Dassault was so impressed by it that they collaborated with him, and they made a prototype of this, right? So within 40-50 days, they developed this system of a two-wheeler ambulance, which can basically be attached to any 100cc bike. So even if you have a 100cc bike, you can easily attach it to it and basically use it as an ambulance. So again, great technology which can definitely be used in a very good manner. Hopefully this can be replicated in a much better sense. Then for the sixth news, if I'm not wrong, no, for the fifth news, I'm sorry. So a group of nature lovers in Pune called Anandvan Mitra Mandal, so that's the name of the organization, has created a patch of forest land, right? In a 30-acre land. So this land was basically degraded, and it was pretty much dry. It was barren, right? So what they did was that they cultivated that land, and they brought it up in a manner where they were able to get a number of indigenous trees growing there right now. So right now, if you visit that particular area, there is just trees and trees everywhere. So they weren't just doing it alone. So basically, they got help from various people, like various voluntary group of local citizens, students, conservationists, and even corporates and children came up and started helping them. That this grew so much that even the forest department came out and they started helping them with the activity, which resulted in a total of 10,000 trees being grown in that particular land. 10,000, can you imagine? So if you are one of those people, amazing. Like it's really great to have people like you. And if you are not, it's okay. Just try to do what you are really passionate about, and help the society in any manner possible. Last article for you today. So basically, Karnataka's Matin Jammadar. Okay, so basically, he is basically the son of a mason. Masons are people who do stone cutting, right? So his family isn't very well off, right? But despite all of these issues, despite not being able to not being able to get tuitions and things like that, he was able to obtain full marks in his art stream. So he basically completed his pre-university examination, and he was able to get a full score, 600 out of 600 for his examination, which is just so motivational to hear. When I was in school, I wasn't too much into studies, and I wasn't really a good in academics, as you can say. But when I hear all of these stories where people, despite their circumstances, are able to do this, it's just very, very nice and warm to hear. So this 16-year-old basically has a dream of being a civil servant, and he is going to be pursuing that in his future as well. And he also wishes to basically do his bachelor's from an English medium university. So just for all of you who have studied in an English medium university or are in an English medium university, just think about that, right? We have that privilege to be able to study in such colleges, and at least I didn't pay a lot of attention in academics, but then these are the people that really should be getting the opportunity to be in such colleges and schools, and hopefully we see more of those. So yeah, with this, I had these amazing 6 articles for you today. I really hope that this was, although this was short, I really hope that this was motivating enough for you to continue for the rest of the week, or at least made you feel some sort of way in a good manner, right? So thank you so much for joining me for this, and again, looking forward to seeing you next week as well.